So here's the numbers that shocked me. And I saw these on 3 different sites. Not the identical numbers, but the trending numbers. So get this. As far as the seller side, because that is a recipe for disaster. If there's more and more resellers and there's less and less buyers, we're in trouble. Hi everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. I'm so glad I'm outside here. For the first time, it's been raining like crazy. This is not a clickbait title. This is actually, we're gonna do something we haven't done before and really actually look at the reality of eBay and where it's headed. I hear a lot of people, matter of fact, I had a person comment the other day, they're like, eBay is dying. You need to do something or you're not gonna have any place to resell, kind of thing. That kind of statement, I'm like, really, is eBay dying? And I started to dig into it a little bit, and I gotta tell you, I was actually shocked by what I found. And I wanna talk about it today. I could do a video for 30 minutes on this topic, but we're gonna try to narrow it down because I got a bunch of sales too. You know, it's amazing how you react to something differently. I've seen these comments all the time over the last few years, you know, eBay's dying, this is why, this is what's happening, this is really a problem. And it all just depends on what's going on. Yesterday, I had so few sales, or 2 days ago, I guess it was at this point. Well, over about a 24-hour period, I had like 6 sales. I'm like, man. And when you read those comments, when your sales are down, you're like, And it got me digging. And I thought, shoot, we'll just do a video about this because I didn't have much sales. But as the day went on, we started to have a ton of sales. Matter of fact, right now, and I've done a video every day this week. So normally I do 3 a week, but I've done 4, and I'm going to do a 5th because we have 27 sales for over $940. We're just going to cut that in half, do half today and half tomorrow, and you'll see this video when I'm gone. Actually, you'll see it when I'm coming back from Phoenix and the Liz Perfectly event. My normal reaction to stuff like this is, no, it's not dying. And I tend to, you know, give arguments against it. But when I started to dig into the numbers a little bit, the reason I say that, by the way, this Care Bear here, 1983, sold for $21.60 plus shipping. I always look for the vintage ones, even though some of the 2003 ones sell well, some of the newer ones sell well. It just depends. But I just like the 1983 made in Korea ones. That's Tender Heart Bear. I just like selling them. They're not huge money. But some of the old ones go pretty good, especially the Cousins and stuff. And this one was in good shape. Took a while to sell, but it did. You know, I've talked a lot about how e-commerce is growing year after year after year. It's just a trend that's going to happen. But I've also talked more specifically about reselling in general and selling second-hand goods and how that's even growing at faster than the retail rates. And all of that is still true. But I asked myself, you know, like, my old history teacher come out in me. You know, one thing doesn't necessarily correspond to the other. In other words, eBay could be dying, which it's not dying. However, I think you might be surprised at this and some of the things I'm going to say in this video. But eBay could be declining and reselling still be going up. And I dug into the numbers, and I can't wait to share some of them with you. And I thought we'd have a slow sales day, and we have had anything but. We've had 2 of the best days of the month. The last, well, technically yesterday and today as well. But my store's actually shut down right now as you're watching this. Actually, it's probably opened up by the time you're seeing this. We're filming 5 videos in 5 days and putting them over the course of 2 weeks. It would have been a much more convincing video about eBay dying if I had no sales, but we have a bunch, and this is a good one right here. It's $59 for these 2. Went to a sale with Turner, and it looked like a kind of baby, you know, pink yard sale, but I found these 2 on the table, and they were $1 a piece. I think that's what they were. They sold for $59 plus shipping. I'm going to pick some more items and give you a little context in between each sale and then get into the details of it. The big context is all of this stuff is affected by the bigger economy, all of it. And so my first little piece of context here is that the actual economy itself, worldwide, domestically, is in a period of contraction as far as how much money is available. The cheap money isn't flowing like it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. People could argue that there's still a lot of cheap money out there if you know anything about economic policy, and I would probably agree with that, but it definitely has slowed, and all of those things have to come into account when you're looking at these numbers. I'm down here in the eBay cave. This Sansui DVD VCR combo with nothing. I usually put stuff with it, but nothing with this one, I don't think anyways. unless I attached it back here. I guess I put AV cables with it. Sold for $59 plus shipping, but I'm going to put the camera down and carry it out there. So another little piece of context before we get into the details about eBay itself is that the economy last year was actually truly contracting at some points, and reselling or secondhand sales of online merchandise was still increasing. Now, it didn't increase as much last year as it has in the years past, obviously with COVID and stuff like that. But, you know, we're still getting these vintage sales. And of course, my assumption was that during those COVID years and everybody was at home, you were seeing massive increases in sellers, massive increases in buyers, because that was the anecdotal evidence that everybody talked about. It wasn't quite what I thought it was, but there are two statistics that stood out to me in a big way. And I'm going to talk about both of them, and I was truly surprised, and I think you might be too. I don't usually deal in models, but this one was pretty cool. I figured I'd pick it up. It was cheap enough. It sold pretty good. $35.99 plus shipping. Just to start to give you some numbers here, this is insider intelligence. And by the way, when you dig into these numbers, you go to different places and you get different numbers. Numbers tend to not tell the whole story, but in this case, I think I did enough research to give you a picture. So this says we expect U.S. total resale volume to grow 7.6% year over year. That's for this year, to $110.92 billion, a significant leap from $2.6 billion year over year last year. They went on to say that they fully expect that growth trend to continue, maybe not at that fast of a rate, but at least through 2006. This Redskin hat, I don't pick up a ton of Redskin stuff because it just doesn't sell as well as people think it does. But that one sold for $17.99 plus shipping. And one of the things this person said was that buyers were fleeing eBay and there's more sellers. And I thought, that's not a good combination. So I went to look up the numbers, and I'm going to get into those here in just a second. So $29.99 plus shipping for this. I usually stay away from XM radios and stuff because people just don't use them as much as they used to. But this, the contents of it, even though it was open, were new. Everything is sealed in there. And I figured, what the heck? And it sold $30 plus ship. So I started digging up info on eBay, and you know, a lot of times eBay's profits don't line up with their sales. You know, increased profits with less sales is certainly a possibility when they're charging promoteds and stuff like that. But what I found was that gross sales were down year over year for the past 2 years. And I thought, well, you know, that's COVID and all that stuff. And I wanted to check out, which I'm not convinced it is at this point. I was very surprised at some of the numbers. I thought the COVID numbers would be far higher than they are, and they're just simply not. But they are for reselling in general, and that's the topic I'm going to get to in a minute. But I want to discuss eBay first. This NWO, this is a generic skull cap. It's just red. It says NWO on it. $10 free ship. I think that's going overseas. So for those of you asking, it's free shipping for me to ship it through eBay International. All right, so here were the numbers I came up with. And that was that eBay's growth has stopped essentially. And the numbers are, this is from March 31st, 2023, back a year. And it just keeps going back using that date right there, which would have been the end of Q1 multiple years. So just to give you an idea, in 2023, it was down 4.32%. In 2022, it was down 6%. So in 2020, it was up 19. 2021, it was up 17. So we're still at way higher numbers than pre-pandemic levels. But if you look at those last 2 years in gross sales, what that person said is actually true. I don't know about dying, but it certainly is decreasing. So that, of course, begs the question, which led me to the next step here. If e-commerce sales for secondhand goods is on the rise still, and eBay's numbers are on the decline, then something's off. And I think I might have the answer to it. I think this is the right one. Does that look like a golf club to you? This one only sold for $11. I don't know if this is right or not. Is that a golf? What is this? It's a woman's foot. Ah, putty. That's it. This thing's peeking out over here. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of something that's going to come on the Picker channel soon. That is an absolute fire Pokemon find. I'm super excited to have. I'll let you look at this. This only sold for $11. You usually pay $1 for these kind of things. And we make a little bit. And I just love selling them. They're super easy. There you go. I'll get you the picture. It's not a woman's foot. It's a man's foot in knickers. So there you go. I suppose it could be a woman's foot in knickers, but I think it's a man's. At any rate, this led me to start thinking about this a little bit. And I guess I knew the answer to this already. eBay has lost market share. Even if they were growing, they could still be losing market share because other online sales platforms, and I could go over the whole, all of them for you, but for the sake of this video, we'll stick with Poshmark and Mercari, have been increasing the last 2 years. Not by that much, but they're definitely increasing. I mean, we talked about Whatnot before, and I know Whatnot's not for every seller out there, but they're taking market share as well, especially in the certain categories that they just came out of the gate just firing on, like Funko Pops. While those numbers weren't incredibly surprising to me, they were a little bit surprising, but there's another number I'm going to talk about in a second that was really surprising to me. And this is some retail arbitrage. Retail sales are still, online sales are definitely dominating retail sales, but retail sales aren't lagging as much as I thought they would be at this point. I guess people want to get back out, but here we go. Wet n Wild, Cookie Monster, Wet n Wild, Cookie Monster, Cowabunga, Eyelash Curler. What is this thing? Multi-stick set. Those sold for 30 bucks. I think my wife's in them for just $2, $3, $4, something like that. And this was a viewer sale. Went to Elizabeth. Thanks for continuing to share all the great struggles, tips, and chatter in the reselling community. There's some chatter in this video, and I haven't even got to the good stuff. We really enjoy the pets visiting, and it's so neat to see the entire family invested in reselling process. God bless you and your family. Elizabeth, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy Cookie Monster. I'm gonna go back here and grab another item that went out to a viewer. My buddy Brandon, Resale King, down there in North Carolina. It was neat to meet up with you at the 301. He grabbed one of these. Let me tell you, y'all, he's got a lot of stuff. You go check him out on YouTube. Great guy as well. And his girlfriend was sweet when we were there. Really nice to meet up with you. I'll read your message in just a second, but I just want to say this before I move on to the next topic here. The next topic, by the way, is the other part of that person's comment, which is there are too many resellers. There's just too many more resellers, increasing all the time, and the sellers are decreasing. This is a recipe for disaster. And this is what I was really surprised about, because I've been under the assumption that the statement that there are more and more resellers. I did a video, and part of it, blaming YouTubers, people like me, for all these new resellers out there, and everybody's comping everything and all that. But I don't think that's as true as I used to think. Matter of fact, I know it's not. Almost forgot to read the message here. Brandon, I needed a bigger enema. I needed a bigger enema for the studio. I plan to stuff it with bubble wrap. I like that. But it's a club head cover, if I didn't say that. But I doubt I'll have enough. Very good. Speaking of bubble wrap, we have one unclaimed bubble wrap. I'm going to give it one more day here, and if by the next video nobody claims that, the person who won it, we're going to give away one more roll of 700 feet from American Bubble Boy. Thank y'all for using the link for the bubble wrap below. That's really kind of you. I appreciate that, and we'll do that. So go ahead and comment in this video, and my guess is if they haven't claimed it by now, they probably won't claim it. And we'll use this video's comments to give one away on the next video, or maybe we'll wait. No, let's do it on the next one. So as I pick up this next item, here's what I'm comfortable in saying, that online e-commerce sales of secondhand goods is still on the rise, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future, which is, of course, great news for resellers. However, it also seems true that eBay is slightly declining. It is not dying by any stretch of the imagination. I suppose it's maybe it's the beginning of a slow death. My guess is that's probably not true either. It's just a much more competitive business because of how successful it has been for some folks. This ET earrings here, vintage, shout out Ivan, 1983. I think that's the year on this. Or no, ET is 1980? How come I don't know that? No, I'm getting confused with that. Any rate, $7 plus shipping. So here's the numbers that shocked me. And I saw these on 3 different sites. Not the identical numbers, but the trending numbers. So get this. As far as the seller side, because that is a recipe for disaster. If there's more and more resellers and there's less and less buyers, we're in trouble. And I don't think that's the case. But if you look just at eBay, just at eBay, the sellers on eBay are declining every year, get this, since 2014. That to me was shocking if these numbers are true, which like I said, I've seen them on multiple sites. Just to give you the last few years here, 2018, 22.3 million sellers. 2019 down to 21.1. 2020 down to 2020 even. 2021, 2021, 19 million, 2022, 18.3 million. Now, what that may not take into account, matter of fact, it almost certainly doesn't, is the online resellers of secondhand goods that are selling on platforms other than eBay, whether that's Amazon or Poshmark or Mercari or whatnot, or any other platform. So I don't have definite numbers that resellers, the numbers of resellers are going down. I certainly have numbers that suggest that the numbers of resellers on eBay are going down, and I actually think eBay likes that. They don't like the casual seller as much as they used to. We all kind of know that. By the way, this is cranberry. I bought this at that pre-sale at the 100-mile sale, and a lot of people were commenting, you know, I don't sell that stuff anymore. It's tough, but what I have found is that you can buy things like this in bulk. It's tough to ship it and still sell it. That's Pyrex and it's cranberry. And I've got 4 items here, 8 pieces all together, and that made for a sale. I think we got 80 bucks for it plus shipping. It is a little bit of work though, so it's not for everybody, but I'll take an $80 sale even if it takes me, you know, because I'm probably into this for $5-10 bucks. I've got a few more sales here, 2 or 3, and 1 giveaway actually we're gonna do in a second. And of course the kids coming in as well, a little Commonwealth comedy. They're both away watching a movie with their grandparents today. And Reagan's got an announcement. The CommonwealthPicker.com store got a new item in there, and it goes quick, so I'll let her announce it in a minute. But I did want to give kind of a synopsis how my brain works and processes all this stuff as the future of reselling and all that. There's a bunch of change gonna come, there's no doubt about it. And I told myself, I'm like, I'm going to resist this being a List Perfectly commercial. But let me tell you, the more I dig into this data, the more I think, you know what, this probably is something that people should start thinking about, whether or not you do it or if it's ready, the right time for you. If you use my link or whatever, code Commonwealth, 30% off. See what I did there? That's irrelevant to this. I almost didn't mention it at all, but I do think this is going to become increasingly important, because if these numbers hold true, and who knows if they will, or they won't. And eBay sees, even if it's just peaked and it's still massive, don't get me wrong, eBay is still, for people who do what I do, is still the marketplace, period, in my opinion. You know, there's other ones that can help, but it is still massive. And even if sales go down a little bit, if the sellers are going down at a higher rate, it's going to be better for those of us who are left. And I've mentioned this too. Look, I'm making this into my Reseller Genie commercial as well. You know, those people who do the things that it takes to remain in this game are going to prosper going forward, because less and less people are going to do it. And I know that's not the popular opinion, but I actually think that's where it's going. When they do the 1099 thing at the end of this year, which they didn't do last year, and I know you got to pay your taxes anyways. I get that. I totally get that. You can save your comments. I totally agree, and I get it. But there's a lot of people who don't, and when they're forced to with this thing and they don't have all their deductions in order, then this business becomes a lot less profitable if you're not counting your mileage and doing all those things. And I think because these other online marketplaces are slowly growing faster than eBay, it's going to become more and more important to be selling on multiple platforms. And I think the technology is there to continue to make it easier. It's still not right for the small seller. Still not right, in my opinion, because the cost of time and or money involved in cross-posting can be too much for that small-time seller. But it is going to be right for a lot more people down the road. Now, they're not quite there yet, but my buddies over, this is Ray's channel, the Nashville Flippers. Ray's one of the nicest guys in the business, except for this guy. He's pretty handsome. But these two guys right here, they have the Reseller Clickbait podcast. And I said when we got to 400, which they're not quite there when I'm filming this, but I have a feeling they'll be there by the time this comes out. We're going to give away an Animan from those comments over there. And I picked one. I guess I should probably wait, but I'm headed out of town, so I'm not going to. We're going to get a winner here. And the winner is, I wrote it down somewhere. I can't find it. Here it is. At Daniel1979 is the winner. And if you haven't gone over to the Reseller Clickbait podcast, congratulations. It's not worth going over. I'm kidding. Go over there and subscribe. I actually had a sale that is awaiting payment. I was waiting for it to come through. It still hasn't come through because it put us over that $1,000 mark for the last 2 days. Oh well. But it was some Harley boots for $35.99 plus shipping. Just some small women's boots. But maybe we'll put it on the next video if we get them to come through here in time. We'll see. I just brought this guy out for some new decoration. I figured that yellow would pop right there like my B-52s, which I've covered up forever. And I'm like, oh, just sold. I'm like, I just put it up there. But it's not the right one. I looked at it a little bit more closely, and this is the right one. This one sold for $20. Plus shipping. I don't know if it's to view or not. I'll have to check. But my arcade Pac-Man, it's kind of cool. I like it. 20 bucks plus shipping. Be careful on these. Some are good, some aren't so good. You got to pay, you know, next to nothing. I probably paid $1 for that. This one is going to Michael. He says, hello there. I've been watching your channel for a while now, and I've learned so much for my own reselling business. I enjoy your son's dad jokes. I like that. Very good. Very true. Every day, this is for my son, who has a small collection of these arcade games, and he loves them. Thank you for all that you do. Your work is very much appreciated. Check out my store, Mike's Man Cave Movies and More. Awesome, Mike. Thank you. Let me tell you, I probably should be keeping some of this stuff for my little eBay cave in there, which we still have not started work on. I have a feeling it's going to be a winter task at this point. We've just been so busy traveling around and doing stuff, but I need to keep that kind of stuff. Although, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I saw Tim, my buddy, not Tim over the years, but Honest Tim, had like bigger ones, like this big maybe, of all kinds of vintage 80s arcade games. I'm like, man, those would look so good in there. So I'm going to send him an offer. He bought them all at a sale. Maybe he'll sell some to me. We got Reagan in here with an announcement, but we got Wallen with an announcement. He wants to announce that he wants out. Hey, Turner's coming. There'll be some Commonwealth comedy too. All right, Reagan, you've got, don't show them that yet now. All right, you're gonna thank some folks. All right, who do you got?
Lisette, and I don't know what she got, but she's New England Betty Boop.
New England Betty Boop. She got one of the trash cash bags. We're selling them off. We're doing pretty good, better than I thought for trash cash bags. They're down into the, I think we sold like 34. Okay, what else?
Lisa and Holly, and they got trash cash bags.
Yeah, you got it. All right, here is, now we do this every quarter. So July 1st here, I don't know what date this video is coming out, but July 1st, maybe the night before, these will be available. So far we've got the Ultimate Inaman, we've got the Inamaniac Inaman, and now we have the Rowdy Inaman right there. My personal favorite Rowdy.
I think my favorite is the first one. I just like that one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
That's cool. And so that one's going to be out for Q3. And they'll be over there in Commonwealth if you need some rowdiness to get your store moving. So I can do it. I'll see that. And that comes from Jess B. Crafton. She designs all these for us. She's awesome, and I'd rather pay her than pay somebody else that I don't even know who they are. So really, really cool. I love it. It's CWP on the back.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite.
Very cool. All right, Reagan. Thank you. And you're going to be shipping out a lot. There's 100 of those. The first time we did 50 and they were gone super fast, and we did 50 again and they're super fast. We did 100 of these. They were gone in like 70 hours. No, it was longer. It was shorter.
We're going to need a new clipboard.
Oh, yeah. I guess we are, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Any rate, thank you, Reagan.
Bye. And don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
I heard a scratch at the door out there. Somebody wants treats. I know your scratch, Pepper. That's a Pepper scratch. Haven't seen too much of Wallen today, have we? Pepper says, good. More treats for me. All right, y'all, we got some more of the Commonwealth comedy jokes, which is really cool. And we're taking all these that get sent to us, and we're putting either your jokes or your paper or your card or your postcard or whatever it is in a little pile. Eventually, we're going to do a giveaway. Don't know what it is yet. Actually, I do, but I'm not telling you yet. All right, this is from Southeast Treasures, Dave and Carla Southworth. And they wrote a really nice letter here to you, Turner. They love your silly jokes and tell them all the time. Dave gets mad. She says her husband, Dave, gets mad if he misses your Commonwealth comedy. He grabs the remote and rewinds it to hear your joke. You're doing a great job. Okay, Turner picked out a joke. Here's their little stickers here, by the way. All right, what's the joke you picked out?
All right. What do you call an angry carrot?
What do you call an angry carrot? I don't know. What do you call it?
Steamed veggie.
Steamed veggie. I like it. Very good, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Really quick before I forget, Boss Reseller Remix in Vegas in October. We're headed there. We're going to speak there, and we're going to have a link to tickets below. If it's something you're interested in checking out, go check it out. Just want you to see what goes on around here when we ship. Every animal in the Commonwealth comes in here.
Because they don't get
It's not treats. Ooh, a little fight. It's because of Blue and Mama. They all follow you around.
That's true.
Oh, look at them. Can't tell if they're Pepper's like,
not
forget
like
this. All right, y'all, I love economics, but sometimes numbers are a little tough with me, you know, old history guy. So if I've screwed up my numbers somehow, some way, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure, at least I've got the overall macro sense of this thing down fairly well anyways. But always, as always, go ahead and leave your comments below, either anecdotal or numbers-wise. We appreciate you stopping by, and I can't wait to see you next time.